Wheels, walls, and winter treats. In the heart of State College, the morning sun sparkled off the frost. Fatima sat in her favorite spot, her wheelchair a sturdy throne for a day of adventure. At 24, she knew that every Saturday held a secret, and today's secret involved a long drive. Beside her, Figaro the gray tabby cat stretched his paws and let out a long, rumbling yawn. He looked at the suitcases and the coats, then back at his cozy radiator. Figaro had decided that today was a day for napping, not traveling. Outside, the thermometer read a crisp 22 degrees Fahrenheit. The air was sharp, biting at the nose and ears. Gulsen, Fatima's mother, laughed as she held up a bright, multicolored wool scarf. "We're going to be toastier than a fresh loaf of bread, Fatima," she promised. Together they worked through the layers: thick socks, a heavy coat, and the soft scarf wrapped snug around Fatima's neck. Fatima leaned into the warmth, her eyes dancing with the anticipation of the journey ahead. 2 hours of rolling hills and winter fields lay between them and their destination. Levent, Fatima's father, took the wheel of the van. He adjusted the mirror so he could catch Fatima's eye and gave her a playful wink. As the music played and the heater hummed, they left State College behind. Fatima watched the world blur by, the bare trees looking like lace against the pale blue sky. She was nonverbal, but her excitement filled the car more loudly than any words ever could. When they arrived at the Lancaster Central Market, the red brick building towered over them like a friendly giant. Built in the Romanesque Revival style, its grand arches and tall windows spoke of nearly 3 centuries of history. "This place has been here since 1730, Gulsen whispered, looking up at the majestic architecture. Fatima looked up too, marveling at the ornate stonework and the sheer scale of the historic marketplace. Finding the way inside was their first little mission. Many old buildings weren't built with wheels in mind, but the family was an expert team. Levent scanned the perimeter, looking for the accessible path. "There it is," he cheered, pointing toward a smooth ramp that led to the heavy wooden doors. He pushed the door open wide, making sure Fatima had plenty of space to navigate her way into the bustling heart of the market. The moment they stepped inside, the cold air was replaced by a symphony of smells: freshly ground coffee, sharp spices, and the sweet scent of blooming flowers swirled together. The market was a beehive of activity, filled with people from all walks of life. Fatima felt the vibration of the chatter and the movement around her. Gulsen leaned down to show her a bundle of bright sunflowers at a nearby stall, the yellow petals glowing under the market lights. No trip to the market would be complete without a treat. They approached a stall where rows of fancy cupcakes sat like tiny pieces of art. There were swirls of pink frosting, sprinkles of gold, and toppings made of fresh fruit. Levent pointed to a chocolate cupcake with a high peak of cream. "What do you think, Fatima? This one looks like a winner." Fatima's smile widened, her hand reaching out toward the glass display. With their cupcakes carefully boxed, the family began to head back toward the car. The sun was starting to dip lower in the sky, casting long shadows across the cobblestones. Gulsen and Levent shared a quiet moment of triumph, carrying their bags of market treasures. They had navigated the crowds and the cold, and the day was still young. "One more stop?" Levent asked, and Gulsen nodded with a grin. The final stop was Lidl, a bright and modern contrast to the historic market. They moved through the aisles, searching for the specific flavors of Europe. Fatima watched as Gulsen picked up a loaf of crusty German bread and a wedge of sharp, creamy cheese. These would be their savory rewards for the evening. The grocery store felt like a different kind of adventure, a place of discovery in the middle of a busy Saturday. By the time they returned to State College, the stars were beginning to peek through the dark. They entered the house to find Figaro exactly where they had left him, curled into a soft, gray ball on the rug. Fatima rolled over to her furry friend and gently nudged him. Figaro opened one eye, stretched and purred, welcoming his explorers home. It had been a day of cold winds and warm hearts. A perfect journey for a family who knew that no barrier was too big to cross together.